everyone. Welcome to the Indigo Plateau live show and podcast. I'm joined with Woodland Docs and our new co-host, Pat Attack. Fellas, how are you doing today?
Had sugar.
Oh, no. How much sugar?
So we'll talk about it more in a second, but we went on vacation last week, and there was this farmer's market or flea market or whatever, and this lady was selling caramels out of the back of her car, and normally that's suspicious. But since there was like a crowd there, I figured it was okay. So we bought the caramels, and they're the best caramels I've ever had in my life, and I keep eating them. So
Ooh. So the caramels in the car is kind of sketchy, but as long as they're the best caramels you ever have had, I think I could forgive that.
they are the best caramels I've ever had. I don't know. I will next time I'm down in Cincinnati, I will buy everybody caramels.
Please do. Pat,
Sounds like fun.
we have, so this is actually our first live show, obviously, but we did record 2 episodes prior to this. The first one was out today, so we kind of asked Pat some questions to get to know him better, but this is Pat's first live show, so everyone welcome Pat. And yeah, Pat, how are you doing today?
Doing good, man. Had a very lazy day. Went out, got some sushi with my partner. Had a picnic outside. You know,
Sush.
Was it
So-
was the sushi covered in caramel at all?
no, not caramel. Some spicy sauce, but not caramel.
You nasty.
So your day was not as good as mine. Okay. I'm telling you guys these caramels. Anyways. Well, so I don't want to commandeer anything real quick, but I mentioned that I went on vacation last week, and you guys know I like to do plushie of the day. But because we went on vacation last week, I have something to show the two of you and show chat and anybody watching this on YouTube afterwards. Remember, go check it out. Video's available. But since we only have plushie of the day, on our way to vacation, there's a store in Dayton, Ohio called Original 151. And it is wonderful. And I spent close to $200 there.
Wow.
So let's go over it. Okay, first, since we normally do plushie of the day, Allie loves Pokemon, wanted, and I don't know why, a Wingull.
Oh, why?
She wanted a Wingull.
That's incorrect.
Hey.
It's not a Pelipper, but
It's
I
not
was
a
gonna say,
But
careful choice of words there.
so then, one of our close friends, her kid is a little bit over 1, and he's just starting to like recognize stuff. And he actually has a favorite Pokemon. Every time he sees this Pokemon, he freaks out. So we got him an Umbreon plush.
oh wow,
Trevor loves Umbreon, and he's such a little goober. I love that kid. So he loves Umbreon.
That's adorable.
And then, I said, Trevor said I should treat myself to an Arbok. So I got an Arbok.
Interesting. I really like Arbok. Actually, is that that's
It's
not
a sitting cutie.
Is it like an official sitting cutie or no?
Yeah, they're all official things.
Oh wow.
So Trevor told me to get myself an Arbok since I was being so kind to get him an Umbreon.
I actually really love that. That's actually adorable.
It is really cool. I like that.
Does it sit stand up
Oh, yeah.
like that to where you can see the hood of it?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
'cause
adorable.
It's got bean bags.
Oh, okay.
So it actually sits.
If I would have known, I would have been like, hey, Knox.
Pat, do you have any sitting cuties?
No, I have unfortunately I don't. I have figurines. I have like action figures. So
Hold please.
So, yeah, but since you said action figures, well, here's what I spent another $50 on. I've got a Misty, and you can't have Misty without water Pokemon. It's a Shelter and a Slowbro, and I don't know if you can connect them or not, but I would love to. And then on top of those, they had more figures. I have a soft spot for Leon, and I don't know why. He's just a really fun character. And then you have to get the OG of OGs, Pikachu and Ash's Caterpie together.
Those are those little figurines.
Yeah. When Pat said figures, I'm like, oh, I got figures too. But then these we actually won at Dave & Buster's. Some Mega Constructs. One's a Togepi, one's a Bulbasaur.
Oh, those like Legos kind of. You kind of build them.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
And then also at the store, Ghost, 2 of these are yours. Japanese cards.
Yeah, boy.
Super
So
cool.
we spent a lot of money at that store. Anybody that's a Pokemon fan, if you're around Southern Ohio, Northern Kentucky, I suggest you check it out. Southeastern Indiana, I guess, as well. It's in Dayton, Ohio. It's called Original 151. It's inside of a mall. They also have cookies at the mall. So no caramels, but they had cookies. So.
It's super easy to spend money there. When I went, I think I spent quite a bit.
Yeah. Wait, did you? No, you didn't go with us.
No, it was by myself. But Pat, these things are the cute. These are these little sitting cuties. I have a Grumpig. It's so cute.
Love it.
A Victory Bell. I mean, come on. And Gastrodon.
Gastrodon. I would love like a Mimikyu.
They probably have that, right?
That would be awesome to see.
I think the sitting cutie is only up to Gen 5. I'm looking at my Mimikyu on the shelf, and it's not a sitting cutie. So.
Oh.
So I don't know if they have them yet, but I know they were up to Gen 5. But yeah, so not to hijack the beginning, but instead of plushie of the day, we have Doc spent too much money of the day.
As always, it's fine. No, it's fine. I love seeing all the Pokemon merchandise that I don't have that I'm gonna go buy after stream. So, you know,
there's more things to spend money on.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You know what? If you don't buy them, someone else will. And do you really want someone stealing your happiness? I don't think so.
No, I guess there's enough to go around. I think.
These were rare one-of-a-kind plushes. What are you talking about?
Okay, just one in existence.
Yeah,
one of one.
The only one that I've licked. So.
Oh God, you made it weird.
Just kidding. I licked all of them in the store. So about tonight's show.
Yeah.
No. So I mean, you guys been doing anything fun lately or anything like that? I know I went on vacation, so I could talk for hours, but.
No, same old, same old. Just happy to be back doing these live shows. It's been like 4 months since we did one, really. I think back in January was the last one. So longer than that, about.
Almost.
So, but I guess that's a good transition to kind of explain that we used to do this every week, which proved to be a lot for busy adults. So on select Thursdays, we will be doing 2 hours worth of the Indigo Plateau Show, and then those will be released every other Thursday. So this isn't an every week thing, unfortunately, but we will be doing live shows. So,
well, so I guess let's kick it off. I think we should start with something that is a strength of Pat's. So in case you guys haven't listened to today's release yet, Pat's background is in competitive and strategic building and breeding and good stuff like that. So one of the topics that we figured would be fun to cover, with Scarlet and Violet being out for a while now, and we talked about this in the episode that released, raids. So I'm a fan of them. Ghost, you don't really usually do too many of the raids, but I find it as a cool thing to do with a small group of friends. And we thought maybe talking about your favorite raid movesets or your favorite raid strategies would be pretty cool. So I'm going to let Pat go because you put pressure on the new guy and he's bound to do good.
So, as many of you guys probably know if you guys play the game, just recently, one of the most recent raids that we had was Walking Wake, Iron Leaves, and Chestnut. That we had available to be able to try and get. Obviously, that Chestnut was a level 7 raid, which I'll tell you what, boy, was an absolute atrocity to try to get with randoms. It took me so many raids, it was not even funny. But I ended up getting it, and the Pokemon that I actually used to get it was an Annihilate. Specifically, I had an Annihilate with the Defiant ability, which is if the Pokemon has any stat lowered by an opposing Pokemon, its attack stat will be boosted sharply.
okay.
So most of the time when you're at a raid, you have Pokemon that will use stat lowering effects and stuff like that. Can be a pain to try to counter. So having Annihilate with Defiant, which gets its attack stat sharply boosted anytime its stats are lowered, is absolutely wonderful. As far as the movesets go for him, I used Rage Fist with him, which the user converts its rage into attack. The more times the user has been hit by attacks, the greater the move's power. So the more time you use it in in a row, the stronger the attack's gonna get. So with that Defiant ability, he'll have his attack stat boosted, and with the Rage Fist, he's going to be able to boost his attack stats even more that he uses that move consecutively. I also have Drain Punch on him to try to get a little bit of regeneration as far as like
back.
HP.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I also run him with Bulk Up and Terra Blast. So you could run him one of two ways with Terra typing. I like Fire Terra typing on him just because that's I found to be like most beneficial when it comes to doing raids against like Steel type, Grass type, stuff like that. It also gets rid of his Ghost weakness and stuff like that. And then you give him Terra Blast as well, so he can use his Terra typing to get a stab bonus. So that's what I use against Chestnut. And then another couple Pokemon that I like having is a Libero Life Orb Cinderace. So Libero
that's the one that you got from the raid, right?
Yes. Yeah. I did get that from the raid, but in Sword and Shield, I did breed for a Libero, a perfect Libero one, but I got that through that Pokemon Home thing to where you got the hidden ability.
Yep.
Which Libero is a hidden ability. What it does is it changes the user's type of the move it's about to use or it changes its natural typing to the type of move it's going to use. But they nerfed it from Sword and Shield into Scarlet and Violet to where it only changes your typing once. So whatever move you use will then make it whatever type of move it was that you used recently.
Wait, what ability was that? Protean?
So Protean is for Meowscarada. So it's basically Libero. So Libero is basically the same thing for Meowscarada, but they just call it Protean for him.
Oh, okay, because I know like Greninja and stuff had it too.
Well, yeah. Yes. Did they also nerf Protean to where it's only once,
or is
Protean Or is Protean?
It's only once. They nerfed that. Yeah, they learned from that mistake in Sword and Shield. We'll just say that. Yeah. But on that Libero Life Orb Cinderace, I like running Pyro Ball, just obviously because it's signature move. High Jump Kick as well. And then Iron Head and Sucker Punch. So those have a lot of like it has good coverage as far as like typings go for different types of Pokemon you're going to encounter. Obviously, Sucker Punch is a priority move. This is also a Pokemon that I would use for online battles. This is the exact competitive moveset that I would have on him. And then going back to what we were talking about as far as Pokemon go, you would want him to... Give me 1 second. Hold on. So let's talk about EVs and IVs. So obviously you're gonna want to battle train them.
He's like, hold up, let's roll this back.
So basically, you just like you want to feed them vitamins. For my Annihilate, I had fed them HP ups, and I had fed them the attack vitamin. What is that? That's not
protein.
Yeah, proteins. I fed them proteins, so he has HP all the way up and attack all the way up. I mean, when it comes to raid Pokemon, you really, unfortunately, have to EV train them. Otherwise, you're just going to get clapped. And then with the Cinderace, its speed is all the way up and its attack is all the way up. But once again, like I said, I kind of made this one for competitive Pokemon and stuff. Another one that I do enjoy is Azumarill.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
After the play rough fix, Azumarill.
Yes.
So Doc's knows. My bad.
The ability that I run on that Azumarill is Huge Power, which doubles the Pokemon attack stat. And I run a Belly Drum Huge Power Azumarill, so it maxes its attack stat to 6+6, and then that Huge Power doubles it, so it's technically +12.
Oh my god.
And I run that with EVs and HP and attack all the way up. And the moves that I use on it are Play Rough, Liquidation, Superpower, and Belly Drum. So the Superpower is it also lowers your attack and defensive stat, but it hits for 120 power, 100% accuracy. I mean, yeah, it's going to make you a little bit squishier, but it's going to hit real hard against Pokemon to where you get that that super effective typing against. Liquidation is great because it's a stab move. Your Azumarill's a water type, and with liquidation, it'll lower the Pokemon's defense stat, and it's also a priority move, so it'll actually go first. So even though Azumarill is slow, Azumarill will be able to go first, so you don't have to necessarily worry about like the fact that it's a slow mon because you have a priority move with that. And then I also use Play Rough with it because it's also a fairy type, and get that stab bonus with it, and then also Belly Drum for the huge power effects. And so
it's that's very similar to my favorite build for raids. So you're talking, attack strength, and not it's since it's a high level raid, it's not gonna be an Oko, but something that's gonna take out a good quarter of their health bar. I've loved this since the first raids that happened. We were doing them. We had a little group that started gathering Sundays for stream, and we would just go do different raids on throughout the map. And that Greninja raid was my first real frustration at a raid, and I fumbled the bag, but I fixed it. I ended up loving doing the Slowbro build. So it's very similar to how it was for Greninja. So was it Iron Tread and what's the other one? Iron Tread and
Great Tusk.
Great Tusk.
Oh, the old version. Okay, the ancient one.
Yeah. So for those dudes, I've got it right here. So first off, I do Oblivious to prevent any kind of trickery. Leftovers because it's thick already, but that regeneration, kind of like your Annihilate, had the Drain Punch for the HP recovery.
Yes, and the Shell Bells, so that'll give you a little chip damage heal.
Yeah, I never really liked Shell Bell, but I just always defaulted to lefties. But then put the EVs into HP and defense. I make it modest, so my special attack is boosted, my physical attack goes down. And then it's the same 4 moves. Iron Defense, Nasty Plot, Stored Power, Psychic Terrain. And I keep it Psychic Terra type. So that way, for anything that's got grass moves or anything, I remove my water typing or electric moves, anything like that. I remove my water typing to get rid of that weakness. So, I'm pure Psychic, so all I gotta worry about is Dark and Bug type moves. But it's almost a one-shot to get it down to to its shield from the Greninja was anyways. It was almost like you sit there, nasty plot, iron defense, get your stats all the way up, hit stored power. If you've triggered the psychic terrain already, that boosts stored power even more because it's a psychic type move, and you just blast away your opponent. It does not matter. It does not matter who they are.
Oh, see, that's a cool build. I didn't think of that one.
Yeah, no, that's so when you were talking about your Azumarill, I'm like, this is way too similar. Yeah. I'm like, it's a big bulky boy, and you go for one shot.
With the Azumarill, citrus berry on him, so he recovers when he belly drums. Yeah. So forgot to mention that as well. And I do have one more that I do like to use, but if you have a couple more that you enjoy using, Docs, I would love to hear them.
Oh no, that's my favorite. I know. So when we'd have our group on Sundays, my buddy Warzak, he would always bring an Iron Hands, and he would he would turn one belly drum, and then just punch whatever. It did not matter what we were facing. He would just belly drum, eat his berry, get his health back up, and just drain punch whatever was in front of us.
Yep. See, I don't have an Iron Hands build, but it's on the list. But yeah, those are typically like my main 3 Pokemon that I enjoy using. And then another one that's probably like one that you guys don't like think of is Goldango. With that good as gold ability he has is absolutely phenomenal for raids. Like anything that's going to wisp you, paralyze you, lower your stats, it's not going to matter.
What does that do?
Because it nullifies it. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his ability is a body of pure solid gold gives the Pokemon full immunity to other Pokemon status moves.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, so anything that's gonna lower his defense, lower his attack, anything that's gonna paralyze him, burn him, Will-O-Wisp, Thunder Wave, none of that. None of that affects him. So you get a lot of freebies when you're in Rage because that ability just basically is like, okay, this doesn't affect me. I run him. I also have him set up to be a competitive Pokemon, so I have his speed and special attack all the way up, and his special attack is absolutely monstrous. He has such high special attack. I wish I could look at his base stats right now, but I don't feel like pulling all that up. But at level 100, 6 IV, 252 stats, EVs into special attack. It has a 365 attack. So he hits hard. You could run him with Nasty Plot as well, and you get 1 or 2 Nasty Plots with him with a Stab Shadow Ball or a Make It Rain. That would absolutely dominate like any raid. And I actually run him with Recover, Nasty Plot, Make It Rain, and Shadow Ball. But surprisingly, I run him with White Herb as well. So he can get a double Make It Rain without having his stats lowered.
I found him really annoying in competitive if people had him with White Herb. In a raid, I'd love to see that on my side. But like in competitive, every time I did Make It Rain, I'm like, okay, just do one more and then you're useless. Got it, cool. But no, I love that. And then in a similar fashion, Skeledirge actually proved to be really useful in some raids.
That's right.
Because Torch Song, yeah, right? Exactly.
My boy.
No, Skeledirge with Torch Song boosts his special. And if you invest in his special to begin with, you got Shadow Ball, then you move on to Flamethrower once you've raised your stats. Your 4th move is up in the air, whatever you want it to be. So it was pretty cool having Skeledirge in some of the raids. He came out pretty handy. It's another one that I wouldn't have thought pretty good.
I actually love him because of his unaware ability, to where if your Pokemon has a defensive stat boost, he ignores it. So that whole unaware, he ignores the other Pokemon's stat boost. And then I also run him with Yawn, actually, to put the other Pokemon to sleep.
That's wait, can the raid mons be put to sleep?
They can if they don't have their shield up.
Oh, okay. I must be an idiot and have only tried
you can paralyze them, you can burn them, and you can put them asleep, but if their shield's up, it doesn't affect them for whatever reason. So
now, Ghost, in all your numerous raids that you've done,
yeah.
Have you actually tried any of the above the 4 stars? Or
No. I have not. I don't know. I just wasn't super jazzed about the raids in Scarlet and Violet, so I just never tried.
I didn't like them in Sword and Shield because I didn't have anybody to play with. And then with Scarlet and Violet, in between those games, I met Matt. I met Warzak. I guess I could have played with Allie from the start, but she's no fun. So,
ouch.
I'm gonna be sleeping on this couch tonight. But yeah, so no, now that I had friends to do them with, they're a lot more fun.
We got a comment in the chat. The Cinderace raid made them so mad.
Oh, it was stupid. But the Libero Cinderace in the end was pretty handy. But I don't know if I get bored, and I'm not trying to do them solo for gain. If I'm just bored and trying to do them solo, I would throw some really stupid stuff out there. I keep trying to make Kilowattrel work. It never worked. I was trying to make Clodsire work. It never worked. I just any of the new mons that I wasn't familiar with. But
by the way, if you guys are ever trying to make any Pokemon competitively viable or something that would work good for raids, one of my biggest places I like to go and kind of gain a little idea of how I might want to train them is I go to Smogon. I know a lot of people like Cerebi, but Smogon is usually my go-to. So if you're ever curious about how you should make your EV spread and what movesets you should use, Smogon is always a great place. Usually you're going to have a lot of people that are top tier competitive Pokemon players that are doing the editing for the movesets and what type like Terra typing you should use, and also what abilities you should run on these Pokemon. A lot of the competitive builds are transferable to raid builds, I would say, in my opinion.
Oh no, they're one because the raid mons are competitively built as if as if your opponent's team would be competitively built. So the difference is just they're massive compared to multiple. So, but when you mention babies, that brings us to our next topic, actually. What you guys mentioned?
I'm trying to connect. I'm trying to get inside your brain and see where you're going to make this connection.
Well, stay out. At least take off your shoes. But you both mentioned when we were pre-discussing this next topic, a Pokemon that would steal babies. So I feel like it's only natural to move on. So you both mentioned Driftbloom and Driftblim when we started talking about Pokemon that would be extremely dangerous in real life. And there is nothing more dangerous than a kidnapper, except for my 3 answers. So I'm going to lead off with a walking weather hazard, or more like a waddling or rolling weather hazard, I guess. So I think this Pokemon would be a huge liability. And I know if abilities also came with them, then okay, not as big of a deal. But Togedemaru, okay? Homie's cute, so you want to pet him, but if his spikes are up, you're gonna cut yourself because he's steel.
Okay.
Like you see something cute and small, you want to pet it. Probably not a good idea. Then he is metal and electricity. Those things together will kill you. If you are petting him and lightning is attracted to him because he's made of metal, you're gone. Now, if his ability Lightning Rod is still a thing, then okay, you're safe. But he is a walking weather hazard.
You make a fair point. Don't touch him. They'll be fine.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's so darn cute and small, you just want to pet him.
Rogue said, if dangerous, why friend-shaped?
Exactly. If dangerous, why friend-shaped?
Make a fair point.
Pat, could you resist petting a Togedemaru?
No.
See? Then Pat goes zap, and we're back to 2 people, and you guys tune out.
Womp,
so,
womp.
For the safety and the sake of the show, Togedemaru's got to go.
That's fair.
I would have never thought that, but now that you say that, it all checks out.
So I have one that's really unassuming that I don't think you guys would maybe think of, but Palisand. A little sandcastle Pokemon.
Yeah.
Go on.
So its Pokédex in Violet is from the hollows in its arms. It fires the bones of its victims, which are all dried up after being drained of their vitality. So if you're like on the beach and there's a Palisand, he will suck you up and drain the life force from you, and then shoot your bones at people.
That's so hardcore.
Palisand is a super unassuming gangster, alright? Like
alternatively, when life gives you free bones, you don't question it and you just walk the other way. So
I don't want the bones, Docs. I don't want these.
I don't know.
If it's shooting bones at you, like if it's hard enough, you're gonna die. Like you're not gonna survive that.
So I actually have another one, which you actually said earlier was your friend Trevor's favorite Pokemon, which was Umbreon.
Yeah.
So Umbreon, back in the gold days, its Pokédex was actually, when agitated, this Pokemon protects itself by spraying poisonous sweat from its pores. So when Umbreon is agitated, it sprays a poisonous sweat.
Ew, it's a skunk.
Well, hold on. Counter argument, toe beans.
I mean, sure.
Doc, stop trying to make all these deadly things cute.
I mean, just because I see a tiger and I want to pet its murder mittens doesn't mean I'm gonna, like.
Right?
I'm just saying, toe beans. But anyway. Ghost, what should I be afraid of that I'm not?
Okay, so what I have as the most dangerous Pokemon is Mimikyu. Because just the mere sight of seeing its actual body could kill you. Like, what's more dangerous than just looking at a Pokemon and dying? It doesn't even have to do anything. It just
In all
has to
fairness-
exist.
It's
In
like
all
the
fairness-
rain.
What'd you say, Docs?
I said, in all fairness, yes.
Right. I was going through like all the Pokemon. I was trying to think like what Pokemon does the most destruction, but then I thought, what is the most deadly in terms of killing you the fastest and the easiest? And it has to be Mimikyu, assuming you see its actual body.
Yeah. So that was actually on my list too, and I had the Ultra Moon Dex entry, which was a gust of wind revealed what hides under this Pokemon's rag to a passing trainer who went home and died painfully that very night. Which Mimikyu is one of my absolute favorite Pokemon, but like I tend to like Pokemon that are very dangerous to you apparently, because there's a couple Pokemon I have on this list, and I'm like, I love these mon.
Oh, I know. Well, all the ghost type. I was looking up like lists of people put together of like most dangerous Pokemon, and it's like 90% ghost type, and I'm like, I mean, it all makes sense,
Well-
but
Yes.
Well, while we're going down that route, my second one that I listed, the devil himself, Giratina. Giratina has to be. Oh, great, we lost Ghost. Ghost dead.
no, I'm here. I was
Over
reading.
there.
I was
Well,
reading comments. I'm here.
You legit froze, and I'm like, oh my god, no.
That's just my face.
No, Giratina. I mean, what is more dangerous to you than the literal devil? Okay, it literally has an alternate dimension. Those who played the worst game in franchise history saw it transform on top of what mountain was that?
Cornet.
Like, it's the devil. He is Heck Boy himself.
He's
Okay,
heck boy.
I mean, that is dangerous. Unless you have Arceus, travel along with you, then you are in danger because he gonna murder you.
He's the devil Snakeo.
I mean, let's see if I can be as fancy as you guys and find a dex entry. Hold on.
TikTok.
TikTok. Giratina.
Giratina.
Yes, Giratina. There is one Hisuian verse that tells of a powerful light creating a deep shadow. And I imagine that this deep shadow is Giratina. Like, he's literal nether. Like I asked the people at Mojang what they modeled the nether dragon after in Minecraft, and they said Giratina.
Oh,
So,
wow. Fun fact. Didn't know that. Sounds false, but okay.
second fun fact, I like to lie to my friends.
Oh, God. Here we go.
On that note, another Pokemon.
Moving on.
Gengar. Gengar, it apparently wishes for a traveling companion. Since it was once a human itself, it tries to create one by taking the lives of other humans. Which, I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, the one episode with Ash and Pikachu, to where he like had them as an outer body experience, like fly over the city with them. That was like episode 23 of the original Pokemon series, and somehow like was able to like put their souls back into their body. But Gengar is just basically just like a lonely guy who's like, hey, like I like you a lot, so let's be in the afterlife together forever.
That's
If-
oh, go ahead, Docs.
No, I was gonna say, if my dude just wants to laugh and fly around, I'm game. Just, let me come back for the morning and I'm good.
Yeah, it's like the newest, or not the newest, but one where Ash's Gengar was introduced.
Yeah.
The trainer abandons it because just bad stuff happens to it, and it's so upsetting, but also just goes to show how unintentionally dangerous Gengar is.
Yeah, and he's just sitting on the steps just waiting for him to come home.
It is so sad.
I'm like, no, you go love that Gengar.
Oh, it's so upsetting, but true
Well,
though.
The last thing that I had listed is, I wouldn't say unassumingly dangerous, but just because of its behavior, mannerisms, and size, it's got to be dangerous.
Okay.
I'm talking about Snorlax.
Hey, big boy.
I would die for him.
Take me. It's fine.
Okay, crush me.
It's fine. I would
Um,
die for him. If I could sleep on him one time, just sleep on his belly one time, I would die for him. Like,
I mean, like deforestation is going to be an issue. The world already has hungry people. he ain't helping. When he wants to fall down and sleep, he just falls down. Like the left side of your house is gone. I mean, he's not evil. He's not bad. He just would be dangerous.
We got a nomination in the chat, actually, Hatram, and it says, no matter who you are, if you bring strong emotions near this Pokemon, it would silence you violently.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. No.
If I'm just you said Florida or Hatcham. So if I'm just like telling Hatcham about my vacation and how much I love these caramels, it's like we'll die for that. And like I'm just trying to tell Hatcham that I love caramels, and I have to die now. That's great.
Don't be emotional.
So I actually had one last Pokemon, final Pokemon on this subject, unless you guys had any more. Was Gardevoir. Okay. Gardevoir, its Pokédex entry from Pokemon White was to protect its trainer, it will expend all its psychic power to create a small black hole. So basically creates a tear in the space-time continuum and creates a black hole.
That's not good.
Standard. What are you talking about?
It's fine.
So that's a pretty deadly IRL Pokemon.
I mean, there is one honorable mention for me. It's more of emotionally dangerous, and that's Machoke. So I got him! Woo! This is a new season. We are not doing this again. Oh, you gotta carry the bit over. Come on.
Listen, if I had 4 arms, I would be petting 4 cats at one time. That's what I would do.
That's not where Docs is going with this at all.
Anybody, I encourage you to listen to seasons 1 and 2.
This is a family-friendly show. All right.
I encourage you all to go back to seasons 1 and 2.
I hate everything. Anyway. Yeah, we have comments. I don't like this. I should leave. Oh no, it's understandable.
Ivy, why? We're rogue, why?
No. Anyways,
I need to go.
On to a more normal topic. So if you guys listened to the episode that came out today, when we're recording this one, you'll notice that the consensus is Scarlet and Violet has a really, really good story. And being natural-born storytellers ourselves, I figured maybe we should talk about a Pokemon storyline for a mainline game. So I've got an idea I like. That's so broken.
I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on that. I was just like, it's so perfect, but why?
This is not the first time this has happened either, so we're just unfazed.
All
right. But Docs, back to what you were saying, because I disassociated for about 27 seconds. So,
so anyways, Pokemon main games, usually lackluster. Scarlet and Violet's story is very robust, very brings you in. Actually captures your attention. I'm not good with words, but Ghost is, and he's going to tell you all about his story idea.
Am I going first?
I guess.
Okay. So it's more, I guess, the overall arcing story, the concept of this game. So last season, we created our own evil teams, if we all remember that. So for a quick recap, mine was called Team Thorn, and they basically dealt with grass-type Pokemon and the season. So we had spring grass-type Pokemon, the Phantump and stuff for Halloween. So in my story, it kind of draws inspiration from Ruby and Sapphire. So instead of water versus ground, it's the season. So the concept is, well, let me preface this by saying it doesn't make any sense, but I felt like I was able to, because what evil team goal makes sense? So the evil team wants to create a season, an all-year season. So they're fighting amongst themselves, so it's almost a civil war between the team. So as you go throughout the game, it changes the seasons rapidly. And then there's a fourth part of the team for winter, where they're just trying to eradicate everything. So do you remember, what was it, Black and White 2, where they're like freezing over everything?
Mm-hmm.
The cannons,
Yeah, so it's basically that. So throughout the game, there's a civil war going on with the evil team between each of the seasons. And then towards the end game, the fourth group of the evil team is just trying to eradicate everything. So you actually team up with the other seasons, so summer, fall, and autumn, to defeat the winter team. So that's kind of the overarching story idea.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Are you affiliated with one of the, like, when you're loading up and it's like, instead of going to do the badge challenge, is your pro tag associated with, and like you pick, oh, I want to be on team spring, I want to be on team summer, and then you progress through the story like defeating the other team's bosses, or what are you doing?
No, I didn't think that, but now that you say that, that's a good idea.
That's exactly what you thought.
I was actually kicking around the idea of doing, you normally get the 2 versions, doing a third version of the game. So I know. So
so that's how you would pick your affiliation.
Yeah, I guess in terms of it's one team, so similarly to Ruby and Sapphire, who you deal with more would be dependent on the game.
Okay. All right. I can dig that. I mean, I'm trying to think, because that's kind of cool, because the story, like, it has a good shift to it. It has, I don't want to say like a secret bad guy, because you're expecting infighting and then all of a sudden you're fighting someone else, so It's not like a secret bad dude. But okay, I can dig it. Pat, what do you think?
I like it. I think it's a good story as far as like trying to take a spin on what Pokemon is. Not anything that I came close to like doing. I kind of like went way off the rails with this one. You guys were like, "Oh, I'm gonna create like a whole like different like type thing." It would be cool though, and you could try to incorporate like some like Deoxys storyline into it or something like that.
I think. Wait, for Pokemon in space or for Pokemon grass?
Pokemon in space.
Yeah.
Okay. I was making a joke there. No, I think that you already putting thought into like the evil team being a part of it is fun, because mine doesn't even mention them.
Oh yeah, I was trying to go for a quote unquote normal story, similar storyline of the evil team kind of situation. So
are you still doing badges and stuff along the way, or what do you do?
Yeah, this is the Tipsilon region, so
right, it's the Tipsilon region.
Duh.
Yes. I gotta re-listen to that episode because I loved our region. We had a fun region.
We did have a fun region. I liked it.
So Pat, what you got? What am I gonna sit back on a Sunday morning, boot up my Nintendo Switch Scarlet and Violet Special Edition because I'm a rich kid, and play? What am I doing?
So I actually had a different take on anything from like the normal Pokemon storyline. So mine would essentially be you're running like a Poke Center / daycare. To where
fun.
You're basically taking care of the Pokemon left in your boxes, because like if you watch like the anime and stuff like that, you see throughout the series that like the Pokemon don't just like sit in a box. They actually kind of have like a daycare for them and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually like bring them out and take care of them. You'll see Professor Oak taking care of Ash's Pokemon and stuff like that he transferred through the PC and stuff like that. So what the goal of this is essentially kind of like an Animal Crossing / Stardew Valley kind of vibe, to where you're taking care of them like Tamagotchis. You're making sure that they're happy, and you're trying to like pay the rent, aka pay bill. Like you're trying to come up with like ideas to make money to pay bills so you can keep the lights on.
You gotta give them first, last, and deposit, right? I get it.
Yeah. And it's basically kind of like a Stardew Valley Animal Crossing type thing, to where you're taking care of the Pokemon, you're tending to them, you're feeding them, you're making sure that they're all happy. And then like if they're not happy, you have trainers that take their Pokemon and leave. You have to recruit trainers to keep coming to your Pokemon Center / daycare. So you're actively trying to get customers in through the door to try to pay the bills. And obviously, as like your bill expense, the more Pokemon you have, the more your bills are gonna be. So the
Oh my
more
god.
you have to try to like make in money per month in order to like feed the Pokemon, like tend to them, buy them toys, and of course pay bill.
You know what that sounds like to me?
What?
So we have The Sims, we have Sim City, and then we have the Tycoon games. So it's kind of like a Zoo Tycoon or a Sim game where it's kind of like you have to maintain well-being and happiness and the structures, and then like you can like upgrade your fence. You know, like you start with wooden fence, and then it's like, would you like to upgrade your fence for 500 Poké dollars to a metal fence? You're like, yeah, sure. And then you have like your different habitats. You build like a Zoo Tycoon. That'd be, that'd be cool.
We
But
had
yeah, I would like it. I think that would be super cool because, like, the whole concept is Bill created the Pokebox and stuff, so you have to pay Bill to be able to maintain your Pokebox subscription essentially and keep it running.
Pokebox subscription. No.
It's kind of like the Tom Nook of Pokemon, essentially.
Oh my god. We had a suggestion in chat. Maybe stronger Pokemon costs more to use the daycare box, so you would get rewarded for having stronger trainers as your customers.
There you go.
Yeah, and you could that would definitely be a cool aspect because like you could like upgrade like your daycare license to where you could take care of Pokemon of certain levels. So you could, take care of Pokemon at level 40, level 50, level 60, so etc. So you are essentially trying to become a master breeder / daycare person. I just think that would be a really cool spin on Pokemon that they haven't really touched.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, at first, your daycare is only licensed to, feed and pick up poop.
Oh.
And then, once you're in accreditations and, your daycare reaches, a different code, you can become the move relearner. And you know what I mean? And then, like, you can offer different services and make more money, like, as your facilities get better. That feels like a mobile game.
I don't know. I would play that as a real game. So
I mean, think about it, like Animal Crossing and stuff like that, and like, I mean, it's a Switch game, and people play the heck out of it and stuff like that. And essentially, you're just trying to make rent for a slumlord, essentially.
The pandemic and Animal Crossing at the same time were what kept half of this country sane. And yeah,
it was good. It was good timing. It's good timing.
Yeah, I never had any interest in it before. I bought it for Allie. She started playing. I'm like, I want a little guy in an island. So then I started playing.
It's bad. It's bad.
Well.
So, but essentially, that was my idea for a Pokemon game.
I can dig it.
I'd play it.
Yeah. Now for the game that you guys wouldn't play, mine.
Oh god.
Pay me Niantic. Pay me Pokemon Company. I'm claiming rights right now. I want royalties.
So for myself, I thought of another way to like spin the protagonist role around, but also let you still travel through a region, not be stuck in one place, for too long. So I thought of it as just like Pokemon trainer. Like, everyone's a Pokemon trainer, but you're an instructor that goes around to different towns, and you'll have like mini goals. Like, for example, you could have the CPU be doing auto battles, and the CPU character's like, I don't know why I always lose. And then like they come to you for help, and you're like, oh, what's this trainer's issue? Moveset. And then you can be like, hey, change your moveset to this trainer. And then like they go and they redo the auto battle with the other NPC. Like, hey, I won. And then it's like, okay, as a Pokemon teacher, I have learned, or I'm accredited for, moveset. Or, if they come to you like, oh, I keep getting hit with Hydro Pump and I go down in one shot. What should I do? Oh, invest in your special defense.
Get good.
So, or that too. And then you can have your traditional battles and catching while you're going around, and you can offer training sessions to the people, to the NPCs that you come across and stuff like that. Or if you want to turn this into more collaborative, kind of like how they do with Scarlet and Violet. So while you're being a teacher or a trainer and you're going around to all these different places, like I don't know of any good games to compare this to, but like well, Rogue, if you're still in chat, you're about to wet yourself. Skyrim. Okay, with Skyrim,
Big fan.
but there are when you travel to certain places, you can learn this technique from this master or something like that. So if you want to make it more of an interactive online game, what you can do is connect to the internet and just say that your character has very low skill for teaching people how to battle. You can find a battle master online that's another player that they put all of their quests into increasing their teaching skill for battle, and then you can interact with them online and learn that way. So I just thought it'd be really nice. There wouldn't really be an evil team. There would be a league, so you could still get the badges yourself, but in order to get to the gym leader, instead of walking around a maze in the dark or falling down ice cubes, you would have to complete the quests in the town and the side quests on the paths and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I think it'd be really fun to do something like that where you are teaching the game instead.
Huh.
That would be super cool.
I had an idea.
Oh,
sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Ghost. My bad.
No, you're fine. I was gonna say I feel like you should be able to teach people poorly too, and your how you teach them affects the world. Like if all these people are mistreating their Pokemon or battling poorly, it just destroys the environment or something like that.
There's a karma system in the game where it's you can take the bad action or the good action.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You know what that reminds me of? There was this Fallout 3 quest to where it was the shop owner and you had to complete tasks for them, and depending on how well you completed the task dictated how well the survival book came out. I forget the shop owner's name. I played that game so long ago, but it was the one shop owner in Megaton, and you had to complete their survival book for her, and based on you had to get so many radiation, poisoning, ticks on your Pip-Boy. You had to get so many super mutant kills and stuff like that, and based on how you did and how far you went up, because it gave you tiers tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 to complete, and based on how many tiers you did was how well the book came out. And my book ended up coming out and it was oh, this book's a disaster, anybody who reads it's gonna die.
Yeah,
so that would be really cool actually.
I would have fun playing that, because it would have, especially if you add in that karma system, you can teach them wrong or teach them well, because that would add replayability to it, and because that's one of the big things with Pokemon stories is it's not replayable. Having two different professors, even though it's the same exact outcome, you still had a little bit of variation to it. Obviously the open world really helped, but that's the big thing with Pokemon stories for me is replayability. I don't know, so yeah. I think that with Ghost 3 versions, there'd be some good replayability. With honestly, all of ours seem like they'd be pretty replayable actually, now that I think about it.
So go down this rabbit hole with me, boys. As we've been talking, what would you think of a Pokemon world, an open world MMO RPG, to where you were able to go to all the different regions?
I think it'd be very overwhelming if they tried to do it at the same level that they did Sword and Shield.
No,
because
they'll be fine. They could do it.
No, so think about
what happened with just one region.
No. This aspect. How you mitigate that is for every region you go back to, the graphics would be what you experience from that first region. So Gen 1, 8-bit, Gen 2, 8-bit, Gen 3, a little bit better graphics, and so on and so forth. So as you go back to the different regions, that's how you experience the playthrough. So as you go to Kanto and Johto and such, you experience the regions how you first originally encountered them and experienced them. And then you transfer over to Paldea or something like that, and you're able to bring your little, 8-bit, 16-bit Pokemon over from original Pokemon Kanto region to Paldea, or etc.
And then you get the 3D model, and then if you take your Paldea starter back to Johto, you get your 2D sprite.
Yes, that would be an extremely cool concept. Pokemon World, make it happen.
I'll be on it. I got this.
I would pay hundreds for that. Okay.
100. Wow.
Dude, I kid you not. If you made that game, I would have no life. I would be lost in the sauce. You would get me with so many microtransactions, it would not even be funny. Okay.
Change your
Like-
backpack for $4.99. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
Great.
Like,
Take
here's my money. But that would be a pretty cool concept. The Pokemon worlds where you were able to go to all different regions and experience the different gameplay again. It's just one big open world like RPG that you could travel to wherever you want to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if anything, it could be like I don't want to say like a continuing save file, or like a cloud save file, maybe, to
Mhm.
where like it's well, the hard part is the software, because you're going to need room for 8 regions. Well, count RCS. You're gonna need room on your hardware for multiple regions within one software. If they can find a way to like go back to the original, Pokemon Yellow coding and put in, sprites from every generation thereforth, and then like you open your Switch and you open up Yellow on your Switch via the Nintendo eShop, you bought it, you downloaded it, and then you load your save file into there, and then all the sprites are there, then that's just I think the hardware and software are the issue. But
Do you really think it would be that hard, considering like how much, as far as like data wise, like a sprite game would take? I mean, it would only be megabytes by today's standards and stuff like that.
that's true. I didn't consider that, but I mean, it'd be a logistical nightmare unless they figured out a way to smash it all into one program. That's
But they have it. They already have the programs figured out as they progress throughout the years, and all they would have to do is like backwards compatibility. Essentially, you just go back and you take the software that you had. It's already written. It's all already written. You would just have to find a way to make them all cohesively work together.
I'm willing to bet that this sounds very simple, but it's probably very hard.
oh yeah,
But it's probably logistically an absolute nightmare. But
I mean,
one can have hopes.
like
so.
making a pizza. You think, okay, some bread, some sauce, some cheese, and a topping, and then I try to do it, and I end up calling Jimmy John's. So it's it does. Well, actually, no. There was one time I tried to make tacos, and I forgot to add the taco seasoning. Like
Ooh.
tacos, how hard is that? Ground beef, seasoning, cheese, lettuce. Yeah, put it in a tortilla. No, I didn't even season the beef.
Oh no! You gotta season your beef, Docs. You gotta season the beef.
If that's the moral of this episode is season your beef, folks. Season well.
That's our new tagline: season your beef.
I think that was a great start to season 3 live recordings, don't you?
It was all right. No, I'm just kidding. It was a lot of fun.
I was great. I don't know. I just,
Wow. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. However, if you're live right now, do not go anywhere, because we're going to take a short break and we'll be back with 3 more topics. For those of you listening to this after the fact, the next part will be the next episode. So we'll be back.
Hi, everybody.